I'm Spencer Knowledge Fearon of Sky Sports Ringside Toe to Toe Boxing Podcast and hashtag Toe to Toe. And you're watching Lights Out.
This is FAISAL Khan for Lights Out, and with me via Zoom, delighted to be joined by the Ginger Rocket, Jamie Robinson. Jamie, good afternoon to you, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right myself, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for taking your time out to speak to us today. Obviously, it's the first time we've spoken to you on Lights Out. It's the first time we're doing an interview with you. Haven't really seen you in the ring since last year. Obviously, this past year has been tough for everybody.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, really, isn't it?
So it's been horrible. We're obviously coming to a full-on year since we've been in lockdown, but no ring activity for yourself. Have you managed to sort of keep going, keeping yourself focused for that date of getting back into the ring when it does eventually come?
Well, when the lockdown first happened, I just literally broke my hand sparring, so it cost me a fight with Sierra School. I had 12 weeks out. I come back, and in that 12 weeks, I just lived a bit of normality in life and just chilled out really with my missus, who was pregnant at the time. Did some nice stuff and stuff like that. Then the lockdown happened. And then in the lockdown, I started up doing personal training, doing PT. So I kept myself busy through that way. Still stayed in the gym, still like dieted, still stayed ready. I was still an active pro boxer. A fight come towards me with Harlem Eubank. Me and my team, my trainer decided it wasn't the right fight because I had been boxing like at that time like 7 or 8 months. So he turned around and said, "Well, he's boxed Martin McDonough. We just want a fight to just get us back in the ring and get the feel for things again." And obviously the lockdowns like put everything behind closed doors, so allow me to feel what it's like, feel the whole situation, because I'm a big ticket seller. So when I fight, I have a good atmosphere. So we took all that on board and decided we wasn't going to fight that fight. MTK, they wanted 50-50 fights, which is understandable at the time. They want views, they want interesting fights so people tune in and get more views. So like no fault in mine, no fault in MTK's, it just didn't work at the time. A fight arose with Florian Marku. I was game for that fight up at welter at Christmas on that AJ undercard. I snatched their hand off it. I was like, yeah. Then they rung me back up and said your medicals were out of date, so I lost out on that. And I get in the end up sorting on my licenses and that, because the British board pushed everything back 6 months. So I thought that everything was pushed back. So, but the only thing that was pushed back was the license fees. So like all your medicals and everything like that, they need to be redone for insurance purposes. So I couldn't get them done just in time for Florian Marku. I ended up getting them done in January. Then a fight arose with Darren Surtees, which we took number 15 in the division, put us in title positions if I beat him. That to put him in the top 15. I ended up injuring his hand in another fight with Billy Allington on Friday, which was just a funny one, really.
Well, obviously we'll move on to that Billy Allington fight a little bit later on in the interview, but just listening to that sounds mentally draining, all these setbacks, and you think you're going to be fighting and then it just, sort of gets stopped at the very last minute. I've asked quite a few people that are sort of similar to your position who have not been as active as they would have liked to have been throughout the last year, but has there been any point where you might have even considered sort of like calling it a day with boxing?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like I got to the point in February and I was thinking like just before the Darren Surtees, a week before the Darren Surtees, and I was thinking like something on the rise in like next month or two, then like it's gonna end up like it's not happening, you know what I mean? Like I'm spending so much money going to the training, my training fees, my dietary requirements, everything, just to keep my weight down and making sure everything steps up. Like I've been ready. Like I ain't been like inactive. I've been in the gym training, working with my new trainer Mickey the Gent. I've been like putting the hours in. Like I ain't just sat around and waited for a training camp or done what normal fighters. I've been ready. I stayed ready. Like my manager said, be ready and things will happen. If you ain't ready, then obviously it's time at the moment, like you ain't getting your 8 weeks training camps. Like you just got to make sure you're ready. So I listened to that. I made sure I was ready from like August. a couple of things have happened. A fight with Iqbal up at welter. But at that time, I felt like the lockdown weren't going to last as long as it was, and I really wanted to campaign at super lightweight. He's a massive welter, and the money didn't make sense, and the roundage. I wanted 10 rounds, they wanted 8, and I boxed Shafiq Katif, and I thought like with the 8 rounds, he's going to earn up. That's where I'm going to come into it with the extra 2 rounds. So they didn't want it, so we decided as a team that it weren't the right decision, and I didn't really want to progress at welter anyway. I wanted to progress at light welter, so me as a team, we decided we wasn't going to take that fight. So yeah, just been knocked back. So to get back in there and actually have a fight was good the other day. Like you can take a positive away from it. So yeah, well, quite frustrating. But at the same time, I've been using my time wisely and training hard, and I've been learning a lot of things with my new trainer, working on a lot. But the other day, it just didn't come off on that night.
You obviously, I've seen the interview you've done after the fight. You're definitely 100% interested in doing it again. Have you had a chance to look back at the fight?
I watched the fight. Yeah, I've watched the fight a couple of times. I thought it was 5-3 in rounds again, exactly the same as how I had it. I think they've only given him, like, even the rounds what they've decided to give him, I feel like they've only, like, I still feel like I outworked him. I was still bossing the fight, but because he done a little bit more and was throwing a little bit more punches, they decided to give him the rounds. Whereas I feel like it was either like 6-2 or 5-3 in rounds. I thought I won it.
What happens next? Because it was a good fight. It was a good show as well. And as you mentioned, there's names in that division. You know, you look at the Harlem Eubanks, it's K Prosper. You know, likes of other fights.
Before I think about anybody, all I've got on my mind is I want a rematch. I want to make sure things, because in that ring it's very frustrating. Very frustrating to be in a ring with no atmosphere for one, which I've learned to deal with. Good to get the filth back in the ring for the 8 rounds. I come out like a madman. I was excited to fight. I was coming in reckless. I weren't thinking about what I was really doing. I couldn't catch my rhythm. I couldn't catch a flow. I couldn't do it. I couldn't really get myself together in there. I forced everything, and when you're forcing everything and you ain't got a clear mind, nothing's happening, nothing flows. You got to be calm in the storm, and I weren't that. So, and I feel like now I've dealt with that situation. Now I've got the ring rust off of me. If I put me in that situation again, then I'll deal with that properly. And like, it ain't just me who's dealing with the lockdown a bit, like on a bit of on an atmosphere type of thing. Look at Josh Warrington. You know, look at all these other keysers like who are smashing it when they do have an atmosphere. And like, atmospheres do actually, like, I think, and when you're going into a situation where it's like a glorified sparring match. And like, it's a weird environment. Like, it's hard to explain still. It's like fighting in your living room. It's weird. But now I've dealt with it, and I've got the t-shirt, sort of worn it, I've done it. Now I know how to approach it. I know what to do, and I've got the feel for it now. And then Billy Allen's all I've got on my mind. I'd love to get that rematch over 10 rounds. They saying I was knackered. I weren't knackered. I was just literally so frustrated in my mind that I couldn't get things going late on. We was winning the fight up to the 5th round. Every single round we had it. Even Spencer Fury had it, and like, he was winning every single round. So I think that the last rounds I was just getting frustrated with myself, and it weren't happening. I thought I was going to get him out of there. He's a tough little geezer, Billy Allington, but at the same time, I beat him on my worst performance, and like, that was probably his lifetime performance. Harry performed that night. So I know in the rematch, it's going to be a complete different fight, one where I know what I've got to do, and I'll prepare for Billy Allington properly. And yeah, because the way he boxed was never how he's boxed against anybody else. He sort of comes forward against everybody else. He run like a bitch. He didn't want to know. He sort of run. He sharpshooted. He was running away and that. So yeah, just I know how to deal with it next time. I know if he wants to go and do that, crack on, and if he wants to come and fight, then he's in trouble, boy.
Well, one thing I really like about you is you always remain positive. Obviously, some media outlets like Lights Out unfortunately don't get invites to the MTK shows due to the pandemic right now. And it is what it is. You know, we want to try and increase numbers in case of this virus spreading. But you know, I've sort of followed your story. You know, you've prison, cancer, depression.
Yeah.
You had a long layoff out the ring. You know, you finally get back
Yeah.
and you get a decision which you felt was not the right one. How do you manage to like keep so positive? It's just like it's beyond me, because if I put myself in your situation, I probably would have even maybe have knocked it on the head a long time ago.
If I was 6 years old, if I could go back being 6 years old, and someone says, "Yeah, you're going to live the life of being a professional boxer," and at that age, I was. That's all I ever wanted to be. I always wanted to be what I am now. And all the school teachers, they said, "Oh, what are you going to do when you're older?" And I said, "I want to be a professional boxer." Like, how are you going to do that? Like, and now I've got my PTs as well, doing my personal training, boxing, like coaching as well, like on the side as well. Like, there's no excuse for me not to be in the gym. And like, I'm still young, I'm fit, I'm just coming into my peak now. Well, not into my peak really. I'm just literally developing, and I feel like I've got another good 5-6 years in the sport, and I've got a great team of people behind me. I've got the best I believe I've got a best nutritionist. I've got the best strength and conditioner, best coach around me, people who want to see me succeed. And what I've been doing in the gym and sparring and everything like that is unreal. Like, the amount I've come on in this short amount of time, but then to get in there and nothing come off on that night, I was very frustrated with myself, like with my own performance. Like, when the decision got read out and that, even if I did get the win, I'd still be frustrated. I'd still be gutted in my performance because I didn't show what I can actually do. And when I got in now, I'd probably let everything around the actual fight get to me. Like, not get to me, but just I wanted to win so bad, but I wanted to look so class doing so. I need to show my levels, and just so people can talk my name, say, "Oh, he's actually fucking sick. He's good. Like, he's a good fighter. Like, he deserves to win a title." So, and after the performance I was very disappointed in it, and I feel like after that performance, I ain't ready for them fights. Like, that's why I want the Billy Allen fight to go again, so I can recorrect it, so then they can all see, like, yeah, do you know what? That was the situation. That was the first time he's been behind closed doors. Now he's felt it. Let's go again, and then they're gonna see the side what I know I can be.
Obviously, you don't want to look too far ahead of Billy Allington, but that is probably the fight you will get next, and hopefully, you'll get the right result this time. If the judges are in a good mood that night, because unfortunately the sport is, you know, we're getting a lot of these controversial decisions. But what is your plan for 2021? I know you just said previously you don't want to look too far ahead, but if you can get that rematch,
Ideally, I'd like to have a good performance against Billy Allen next, which is all what's on my mind right now. I've just sat there all weekend, and I've been gutted. Like, I feel like I've let myself down. Like, I've just give so much away, and I turn up on that night and it just didn't happen. So Billy Allen's all what's on my mind right now. Get him out of the way, look good in doing so, turn up and show the levels of what I've been doing, and look at the English eliminator, English titles, because probably Billy Allen probably be made for the Southern area because it's vacant. So once I become like Southern area champion, the next step on the ladder would be the English title. Or if they get a good ranking and I'm able to be in it for an eliminator for the British, or if I've got a good ranking and then puts me in the top 15, once I beat Billy, that's going to put me in the top 15, which is able to be a mandatory pick for a British title. And I'll be in the top 15. And after boxing like that the other day, I'm sure they'll be rubbing their hands together for a British title. Like, yeah, he's the easy man. Right? So, yeah, like, hopefully I'll get picked for a mandatory or something, like a mandatory like opponent.
As I mentioned before, you unfortunately, part of your career is that obviously whole cancer episode where you came through cancer. But today we received some real horrifying news that Lee Noble lost his battle to cancer, and unfortunately,
yeah, I know what, man. He's a good geezer. Like, Lee, do you know when I had my cancer? It's hard to explain, but the best way I can explain is when you've had cancer and somebody speaks to you and you speak to someone, they give you the same answers to someone else. But you could speak to Lee and they'd give you the same answer back. But because he's experienced that, he feels it, and I know he understands it. So when you speak to someone who's been into that situation, he was 27, the same age as me, and he got diagnosed with cancer. And He rang me after the interview. Rang me after. I like, oh man, I'm getting a bit choked up now thinking about it. Because he was a good geezer, man. Oh, yeah, I remember sat there in my gaff and I was gutted and it was all numb and that, and I couldn't get a release of like a cry and all that with Lee. And then Lee rang me up. He was like, "Can I ring you, bro?" I was like, yeah. So he rang me up. As soon as Lee rang me, like, I just had a chat with him, and he was like, he was like just chatting to me, man. And I just remember just crying my eyes out, man. And he was just like one of the nicest geezers, but like a proper fella as well at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, and he's a proper warrior, and yeah, he's a tough geezer, and he's a good man. Like, I have a lot of credit for Lee, and just rest in peace, brother. Like, good man.
God rest his soul, and obviously, prayers and condolences go out to his family. Again, God rest his soul, and
no one understands. Like, people say, "Oh, you'll be all right. You'll be all right." But no, it's not. It's like it's mad. It's like when you get told it, you're numb. You're like, "Think my life's done." And like at that time, I look at everything as a lesson, really, because there's always a positive in every negative situation you've been in. And like when I went through the cancer and I come through that, I was like, no, I know why I went through that. Now I know when we went through that. At the time, you think, why me? But why not me? Like, why not me? Why am I so special that I don't deserve to be going through this? Like, you know what I mean? And then every time I've been through these little stages in life, and I think, wow, well, fucking hell, why has it got to be me all the time? But you know what? Like, I'm grateful for everything I've ever had in my life, whether it's good or bad. And I look back and I think to myself, like, that's why. Like now, like I'm mentally unbreakable. Like, and then when I jump in the ring and that people see me as like this aggressive person and all that, and I just think like you can't hurt me as much as like life's hurt me as well. So, and you've never been through what I've been through. So, I've been through hell and back, and you ain't. So, you ain't got nothing on me.
And in terms of your health wise, how are you doing now? Like, I mean,
I'm blessed, man.
But
I'm blessed. I've got a beautiful little daughter who's 8 months old, and like she inspires me every single day. I see her smile on a daily, and I fucking love it. Like, it's amazing. Like, even when I'm training, and like sometimes you just turn up to the gym and you have these off days, and like every fighter does, like you get to the gym, it's like, oh, I can't be asked to be here. When I have them days, I think about my little girl, and I think to myself, no, I ain't wasting today. I ain't wasting today. This today, and I ain't with my daughter. I'm giving a fucking max out here. Like, you're getting the best of me every single day. Like, I give my 100% every single day, even though I've always done it. But it just spurs me on that little bit more, seeing her face. And when things get hard on the treadmill, when I'm doing my certain hill like heart rates and I'm hitting in the red zones and that, and all I can picture is that face smiling, and that's what motivates me now. Like, my little girl is my world.
Well said. And you know what? Honestly, I wish you the best of luck in terms of going forward in your career. And if anyone deserves a break in this sport, 100% it's you. Jamie, before we bring the interview to an end, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just like to thank everybody for the messages, all the support, what they've shown. Thanks to everybody who's giving me the exposure, including yourself right now. Thanks to all my sponsors who have got behind me through the pandemic, making sure I'm training. Thanks to my my training team, my manager Adam Hart. He does a great job with me. Gives me some amazing opportunities. Just a shame that, like, obviously they weren't able to give me a not stepping stones, but somebody to just get back in the ring with. Otherwise, we could have had them good fights with Arlen Eubank and all that. So, but he's given me the opportunities. Just me as a team, me and my trainer as a team. We decided they weren't right. Ricky McFarlane, I drive that geezer mad on a daily, at like absolute mental. Like, he deals with like the moods and everything like that. My missus, who does everything for me, like she's like my counsellor, she's like my cleaning, she does all my cleaning, she does my she's my chef, like she looks after my baby, so I don't have to wait for no night feeds. Like, she's amazing. My boxing trainer.
Or could you want a wife, eh?
Yeah, like my missus, I swear to God, she does everything. She does everything for me. Like, she's a great girl, and like, it's proper diamond. And my boxing trainer, I moved to him a year ago, and I just wish he'd come off last night against Billy, out of the work what we've been putting in, and how he's changed me as a fighter, but not just as a fighter, as a person as well. Like, he's a great geezer as well. Like, all three of them, Ricky, Adam, and Mick, like alone, them three geezers, like Like they're my best mates, man. I see them on a daily. I love them to bits, man. They're like family to me, and the work what they do and everything like that, man. I couldn't ask for a better team, man. If I tried, love them to bits.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're just as privileged to have you around. Listen, love the energy. Thank you very much for your time today, for speaking to us. And
Yeah, man.
From the bottom of my heart, keep your head up, and fingers crossed for that Billy Allington rematch, and stay in contact, and hopefully it's the first interview of many.
Yeah, man. Nice one. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon, man.
Jamie Robertson, thank you very much for talking to Lights Out, mate.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for your time. When will this be put up?
I'll get it up as soon as possible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no worries, man.
My job now, eh?
Nah, man. I proper appreciate you getting me out there, man. It's like guys like you know what I mean? Like every little piece of the puzzle, and like you get out there, and someone else gets a new bit of you and everything like that. And the more you speak to people, the more like you get better. And that, like, you watch my interviews last week, and like I ain't had them for a bit, and like they're a bit shit, and then like nah, they're just getting a bit better and better and better. So, and it's nice to get a bit out there about Lee, and that not a lot of people know about that, what Lee done for me. So like, thanks for mentioning him as well.
Not a problem, mate. Leave it with us. We'll get this out as soon as we can, and we'll let you carry on with the rest of your weekend, mate.
Top man, nice one. Thank you very much.
Take care.